Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Automation Nation inside Barnum. Today we got a episode talking about the newest, latest, and greatest supplier for H.H. Barnum. We just took on this line called Kuebler, and we're going to talk all about what that is and some cool new things from them. And today with me I have Ryan,
Hey, Cody.
who is, I think you're considered the distribution manager
Yeah.
for us
Yes,
from
sir.
Kuebler. Ryan, if you want to just give me a quick little rundown on how long you've been at Kuebler and what do you
Sure.
really do for us with Kuebler?
For sure. Great question. I started with Kuebler back at the end of April with the pure goal of running our distribution channel network. So essentially making Kuebler super easy to work with, whether that be product trainings, changing things in our purchasing system,
Hmm.
really figuring out how we can be the best partners we can with our distributors, and we are thrilled to be with Barnum. So
Sure. So historically, has Kuebler worked a lot with distribution, or is your role fairly new with Kuebler?
great question. I'm going to keep saying that, but really good question. It is a new role for Kuebler. So essentially, just to give a little back history of Kuebler, we've been around for 65 years in Germany. We've only been in the United States for the last 8 years, and so for a lot of time, it was between our sales and marketing director and our president to kind of follow up with the distributors.
Hmm.
And in order to really grow, we needed to provide someone to really focus on that. So that's how they brought me in. I come from the automation world, selling sensors and barcode readers, vision systems, things like that. So new to the encoder world, but definitely from the manufacturing world.
Sure. So Kuebler itself fills kind of a hole that Barnum has been needing for a long time. If people don't know what Kuebler does, I mean, in the grand scheme of thing, the big main flagship is Encoders.
Correct. Yep.
And Encoders has been a sore spot for Barnum for a long time. We've had a lot of, requests for it. Never really had a good option for them. And then we got Kuebler, and I think a big highlight of Kuebler too is you guys deal a lot with industrial protocols and IO-Link, and
Yes,
that
sir.
is exactly what Barnum pushes all the time too. If our stuff can't talk IO-Link, our guys really don't like to sell it. Like that is the big talking point.
For sure.
And so you guys got IO-Link encoders, which is awesome. That's actually Barnum's product of the month. This
Oh,
month is some
fantastic.
IO-Link encoders, so we're going to highlight that a little bit. But overall, besides encoders,
Hmm.
that's the big main flagship. What is the overall portfolio of Kuebler?
For
What are-
sure. Cody, like you said, our bread and butter are our encoders.
Mhm.
Something that makes us unique to maybe some of our competition is we do make all of our own absolute, all of our own incremental, all of our own draw wires, things like that. We own all of our own lines.
Mhm.
So we are, I guess I would say, very professional encoder makers. In addition with that, really where our company started 65 years ago was selling counters and meters that you see, on most motors or drive things like that, basically to get a count. Alongside that, we have our slip rings, which is another huge portion of our business.
Yeah, that's been a good topic too with a lot of our sales team and our customers. That's something Barnum's never had real access to is a slip ring as well. So that killing two birds with one stone
For
there, having
sure.
encoders and slip rings coming from you guys is actually pretty important.
Yeah,
Pretty
no, the
nice to
slip
have.
rings are unique. I would say we make the Rolls Royce of slip rings. There's not a ton of competition. And frankly, when you need a slip ring, you need a slip ring. There's really not another solution for it. So we have a lot of success in that world and have learned a lot from other people's maybe mistakes in the past and have incorporated that and continue to grow in the slip ring world. So
Sure.
additionally, we do carry inclinometers as well as condition monitoring systems. And the last thing, really, the newest thing that I'm really excited about is our radar sensor. So at the moment, does not have IO-Link, but it will within the next year.
Sure. So really that encoder technology is just carried over into other options. And I mean,
Correct.
obviously once you know how to program, communicate over things like that, it can be translated into other aspects. And Kuebler's portfolio seems to always be expanding for
For
more than
sure.
just like you said, counters, measurement to all different kinds of sensors now.
Well, similar to how you said we were filling a gap for you, that's
Hmm.
how we see the radar sensor. We had a lot of really good options for linear measurement, but they all involve contact or touch,
Yep.
something like that, mechanical touch. So that's what we see the radar sensor doing for us.
Sure. So What I guess primarily, um, just for people who might not be fully familiar in what a lot of these products are used for,
Sure.
what are kind of the main, I guess, industries or products that these work with or are used
For
for?
sure.
Like, I mean, anything. Let's start with encoders. Like,
Yep.
where does Kuebler fit in with encoders the best?
For sure. So with encoders, I mean, we're all over the map when it comes to manufacturing, but I would say, yeah, automation and packaging. It's really our bread and butter. Anything with logistics, conveyors, that kind of idea.
Hmm.
But we also do a lot in like the mobile construction world, the energy, military projects as well. But I would say, yeah, a fair chunk of it goes into factory automation. Within factory automation, there's the automotive world, food, bev, aerospace, all sorts of things like that. So it is I mean, it's an industry, it's a technology that's been around a long time, and we just continue to improve upon that and make it friendlier to work with. So
Sure.
um, we're not reinventing the wheel; we're just making it simpler.
So with that in the automation room, when someone wants to put an encoder on something and use an encoder, I mean, is it usually general retrofit because they need to measure something, or is it designed in? Is it both? Is it just for seeing how fast or how far a motor's turning? Like,
For
kind of
sure.
what's the main scope, I guess? Like, what's the most common applications?
You know what? I mean, and I told you earlier, I started in April, so I have about 5 months in.
Yeah.
A lot of the daily interactions I get are for replacing just old units, things that aren't working anymore. Um, but the goal is, especially pairing with the Barnum, something like that.
Yep.
You have a whole outside sales team, so we have started to find some projects where it's going to be, some decent quantities on that. So
Hmm.
I would say, half our businesses, it's just selling replacement parts, that kind of idea.
Yep.
The other half though is, and where we get those big sales are, pairing up with, the tier one suppliers or OEMs to get their spec. And so
Hmm.
they're using, a
I
couple
notice a
hundred of
lot
these a
of
year.
conveyor
Yeah.
systems and lifts and
Yes,
anything
sir.
that someone really just needs to monitor
Yep.
movement and motion properly and
Hmm.
um, I guess very these things I guess get very accurate
For
too,
sure.
like very accurate.
Yeah, so
Um,
they get used in the medical industry a lot, like in MRI beds and things like that, where it needs to be a little bit more precise. I think the example they use a lot of times are draw wires get used in those cases.
sure.
Um, but then we also do have more, I guess I would say, economic models as well, because
Hmm.
you know what? Not everyone needs to know something to a couple micron. They only care about a couple inches or a couple centimeters, that kind of idea. So,
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, I guess you know you said Kubler's been around for about 65 years.
yes, sir.
Um, that's a long time. It seems like for this type of technology.
Yeah,
Like the technology, I mean, was 65 years ago. I imagine like an old speedometer cable,
yeah,
you know, and that's how you'd physically be monitoring the speed of something.
for
And,
sure.
and it's moved into now a technology where I think some of these are light based and
Yes,
other things like that where it's definitely grown over time.
for sure.
And it's Kubler set themselves apart with some of the products, or is it mainly an industry standard, or have they developed anything that really like
For
that
sure.
Kubler is unique in that realm?
I
I
would,
mean, they've been around for that long. I would
for
assume there's been
sure.
some
I would
cool
say that
products.
we are unique, and then yes, we do sell all the like the base models, things like that. You're going to find out there the simple analog encoders, things like that.
Hmm.
Where we really separate ourselves are we spend a lot of money and time on our R&D, and so that's where we continue to improve on our industrial communications.
Yep.
A lot of competition doesn't have Ethernet being Profinet and everything else.
Yeah, that's something that stands out right away. I feel like is the
Yep,
industrial communications, IO-Link, Ethernet IP, Profinet, because whenever me personally, when I've talked with customers with encoders,
yep,
it is some type of serial feedback or pulse counts, or it's tying directly into maybe it's a motor controller or something like that that
for sure.
already reads whatever the signal from an encoder is, and it's always been can such and such read an encoder because
Yeah.
it usually is a unique signal.
I would say another thing that makes us unique though is Kuebler does own all their own lines. Like I said earlier, we make all our own things, so we don't have any concerns with okay, our magnetic ones are going to be great because we make those ones. But we're not sourcing it for somebody else. But we also make all of our optical ones, like you mentioned, or we
Hmm.
do have kit encoders as well. So we kind of cover all the bases. But something that makes us unique as well, like you kind of mentioned before, this technology has been out a long time. You don't always need to change the wheel. Really, the biggest challenge a lot of times is fitting these things in. So is that, hey, do we need a measuring wheel that has force down or something like that, or different flange
Sure. You
sizes?
don't have to shoehorn something in because you want to make the sale, because you
Sure.
have the products and the technology that encompass all the different styles and all the different applications. You don't,
Yep.
want to, oh, a competitor has this type of way. Well, we most likely do too, or something even better.
For
It's
sure.
not, you're not limited to one style, of
100%.
whatever the product is.
Yes.
Um, does uh does Kuebler get into like system based products and like assemblies, or one of the major topics with Barnum and all of our suppliers and everything we do and talk about on this podcast is value added.
For sure.
And all of our partners always seem to have some type of extra value added instead of just selling some product.
For sure.
So what does Kuebler do that really brings that extra value added in your opinion?
For sure. I can think of two examples off the top of my head. The first would be Kuebler's very unique with their slip rings in that we can mount our encoders directly onto it. So
Okay.
a lot of our competition, or what they have been doing for years, a slip ring's generally, attached to the main shaft in the machine. They would have the slip ring, and then they'd have to build a gear off of it, and then
Sure.
basically use an encoder on the side. We can just connect directly to it. So that's an example where we've had a lot of success in winning business just by simplifying the project or simplifying the process. Less moving parts, less errors are going to happen. The second kind of hits on what I just talked about is we have every size flange and module kind of thing, so that customers don't have to be focused on, okay, we need these specific specs, but now my maintenance crew is going to have to build an arm or something, that flange size, something like that. So I would say continue to add to our accessories, things like that maybe sometimes our competition doesn't, and they expect maybe the end user to fab up how it's going to connect, something like that. So.
Sure. Now, Kuebler, I guess, also, bringing to the table for some value added. Do you guys do any type of training or special literature? I mean, this type of stuff, videos,
For sure.
things like that, to bring the customers so they can be more knowledgeable on the product themselves as well, instead of,
Yeah.
needing to figure it out.
For sure. We have a couple different resources. I mean, we do have we make YouTube videos. So if you ever go to our channel, we have some awesome shorts, like 3 to 5 minutes, that explain everything. Additionally, we do have a dedicated application engineer for both our encoders, and then a separate guy engaged just for our slip rings. So they're really the experts. And let me tell you, someone that's come from $2 billion companies and come to a lot smaller company, it's amazing to have tech support that really I trust and are experts.
Sure.
So that's something that really sets us apart, and something I've really enjoyed, and it's taken a lot of weight off my plate as someone that used to have to be the salesperson, the tech support, and customer service. So
Yep.
even though I went to a smaller company, everyone's more specialized, as well as just they're experts on their why. I don't have to know everything. Let's be honest. So.
That molds well with Barnum's mentality, because Barnum has the same thing. We got our tech support, we got our applications. Our salesmen can be as technical as they want, but there's the resource behind them.
Yes.
And we make sure in our groups and our applications and tech support, we're very familiar with anything technical wise coming from our suppliers.
Yes.
And so we kind of become one with your tech support and applications, and can hand stuff back and forth and bounce stuff off of. And it just, I think, makes overall support and the ease of making customers comfortable with either new products or new technology just simplified.
Yes, no one has to become an expert on an encoder, because we have one. His name's Kevin, and he sits in Charlotte, North Carolina, and loves doing crosses all day. So,
well, that brings up a good point too. I wanted to ask, where is Kuebler in the U.S. based out of? Charlotte?
Great question. Yep, Charlotte, North Carolina. That is where the vast majority of our staff live and work out of. I am unique in that I'm out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, and then Caleb, that I briefly mentioned, our slip ring guy, is out of Iowa.
Okay.
Now, that doesn't mean we don't travel, as well as, the people that are in different portions of the country, especially like the South. I can't be there the next day kind of thing.
Yeah.
We do have a dedicated sales team that also will work with our partners down south as well, to provide more local support, training. Sometimes a customer just needs to feel the hardware in their hands to feel reassured. So.
Well, that's big for Barnum as well, since we're expanding so much. We got a
Mhm.
lot of coverage down in the south now, and having that resource in that region
Yes,
is nothing but helpful for those guys.
for
A
sure.
lot of times, having headquarters away from our expanding people, they feel a little isolated.
Yes,
But I know quite a few suppliers are right down there helping out. Kuebler's right there. I would assume you guys have on-site training and assistance,
sure
things like
do.
that too, at that facility.
Yes. We actually just hosted a week-long training about a month ago for a bunch of our partners. So I think it went really well. It was our inaugural one, so we learned a lot,
Hmm.
but it was really useful. And yeah, we're excited to continue doing that.
Good, good. Well, I want to talk real quick about the IO-Link encoders. Actually, let's talk about a little bit of everything that's here on the table. IO-Link encoders are product for a month. I want to spotlight that.
Yeah,
Um, but real quick to kind of summarize again, if you're just listening, we have a bunch of product on the table,
yeah,
and we'll kind of try to voice what we have sitting here if you're not watching the YouTube video. But pretty standard looking encoder. This one I have in my hand here, little barrel.
yep,
This one is a looks like we got a hollow shaft style, and it is industrial protocol.
yes, sir.
So this would be our equivalent to our IO-Link one, similar to our product of the month, which is the Sendix series from Kuebler. So is this um, come in many different flavors, I would assume.
Oh yeah, yes, sir.
This Sendix series is not just unique to this unit here. It
Yes.
kind of covers
That's
a lot.
sometimes the challenge of, selling encoders and why we need the experts because like you mentioned earlier, we have an optical solution, a magnetic solution,
Hmm.
those kit encoders, we have every different size of that, comes with, a million different potential mounts. So
Yep,
it's amazing that we have all those options, but I can understand how that becomes overwhelming. So
sure.
that's why we have you guys, and then Kevin has our support for that. So,
Hmm.
um, yeah.
So then we got, what's the difference, I guess, between this one, which is just a bigger ring, big hollow
Hmm.
shaft. It's got an M12 on it. How do
Correct.
these two compare? Are they the same series? Are they different?
I believe they're different series.
You
You
know?
catch me off guard here, but yeah, I believe they're different series, and then obviously you can tell that's a larger hollow shaft. So,
Yeah.
but there definitely is different communication options going on here, just based on
Yeah.
the plugs I can see here. So,
Hmm.
um, I can't tell you the exact differences, but yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, just
Certain ones
physically,
will be in incremental, some more absolute.
100%.
Um,
Yeah,
you
and
really,
unfortunately, I can't tell just by looking at it
yeah,
with
it's
my
just
eyes yet,
they're all
but
sealed up. They're base. I mean,
for
we're even
sure.
pretty worn off on our darn labels on a couple of these because they're demos.
Yes, sir.
Um,
Yeah,
but overall, I mean, we got these are rotary encoders,
for sure.
and then
If you want to show a shafted version, that's more of like what a shafted guy would look like. Literally, a shaft's going to come out of it,
yep.
versus hollow shafts. That's the two decisions.
And then
But
so then with your string pulls, the string pull itself doesn't have any technology in it
no,
encoder wise. There's no measurement in this. This is a physical item that's a string pull, but it's very, I would assume, accurate,
yes,
well nice and bearinged. So
yes,
then it marries up with the encoder of your choice to get the type of, I guess, feedback out of it.
for sure.
So
Now, something that makes those really unique, especially compared to our competition, would be on our string pots or draw wires, a million
mhm.
different names for them. Our string doesn't overlap ever. It never wraps on top of each other. So when you pull that
Okay.
string out by 6 millimeters each time, you're going to get 6 millimeters each time, versus the other ones where they wind on top of each other. You're going to get 6.005,
Sure.
6.01, then that kind of thing. So that is something that makes it unique, as well as we have ones that can go out to, I believe, 42 meters. So those honkers, since they aren't going to wrap on
Yeah,
top of each
that's got
other,
to be a pretty big
get a little
barrel.
bit larger, and that's kind of where sometimes the radar sensors come in these days, because not everyone's keen on having the draw wire,
Yep.
especially for that distance, where a radar sensor could do that non-contact.
Sure. And then we got a couple of those different sensors
For sure.
here. We got this little black one, small kind of
Hmm.
plastic housing. This is a
Yeah, it's a condition
condition
monitor.
monitoring, so like temperature, vibration.
Hmm.
And then this one looks like it's
Yep.
IO-Link.
Hmm.
And then we have, that one's an inclinometer.
Correct. So yeah, it can give us rotation X and Y kind of thing. The example I like to give a lot of times is, used in mobile automation. So if you ever see like a fire truck or a big piece of construction equipment, you'll see those arms or legs that come off. Apologies, I don't know the exact term, but generally they will have something like this on there or on the body of the vehicle, because if you want to use the boom or something like that, it needs to be level.
Self-leveling
So a
type,
lot of times it's
yep.
for safety reasons, and that's that's a type of encoder I really didn't cover. We do have functional safety encoders, for
Oh,
all the
okay.
protocols.
Yep.
Only limitation is the SIP safety. So
Sure.
yep,
That inclinometer, I might, maybe we should put that on our automation trailer and make our automation trailer self-level itself.
that'd be awesome. That'd be cool. They get used a lot on gates and stuff, like in water treatment facilities, to tell if they're open or not, kind of thing.
Oh, sure.
So
Wasn't it there?
yeah.
Was it this guy
hmm
that's unique to the market that does X, Y, and Z?
Yes, that is
Okay.
unique for
So
us.
yeah, the condition monitoring sensor for vibration is full 360 X, Y, Z. Most are just like an X, Y.
Correct.
It's mounted on the side of your motor, your machine, and yeah, you get your north, south, east, west type of vibration on it. But Kuebler's also has that built-in Z-axis,
Yes,
which
sir.
is pretty glaring difference, a big point for some people.
For sure.
Um,
No, I'm happy you brought that up. That is a huge difference that gives us a leg up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Then we got the radar sensor there. We got this radar sensor that looks like a little 30 mil barrel with a little mushroom head on it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this thing
Called the
definitely
Christmas light.
like
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like a light bulb.
Yeah.
And I originally thought it was like an ultrasonic when we were looking at it, but it's a radar, and
Yeah.
I would assume the head on this makes it pretty unique that you can get a little bit more accuracy out of it, maybe,
For
or
sure.
distance out of it.
I would say ours are unique to maybe the marketplace, because ours are generally have very narrow angles, so we can do some more precise measurements.
Sure.
As well as we have ones that can work out to 40 meters away.
Okay.
And then, as I said, what separates us as well is we are shortly going to have IO-Link. I believe we already have Profinet. And then hopefully in years to come, we'll have Ethernet IP in it as well. But it's an awesome sensor for situations where a radar or ultrasonic's just not going to work. Specifically, what we see a ton is like the metal industry,
Sure.
where there's going to be smoke and haze, and there's going to be glowing parts, and then there's going to be dark parts, things like that, where laser's going to struggle. And obviously there's still a time and place for lasers and ultrasonic. I'm not saying radars to fix all that, but
Yep.
outside applications, these things are IP69 rated. They can be in very rough environments. And the last huge thing about radar is, you can penetrate through things. So in those high temp worlds, you can put this inside a high temp plastic box, something like that, and we can still take that measurement through there
Go through
versus a laser.
steam and smoke and everything too, and it's
Yes,
not
sir.
going to cause issues.
Yes, sir. So it all depends on the frequency and the amplitude that we can get off to determine the difficulties. But they're fastly becoming very popular.
Very cool.
Yes.
Just to walk back now to the IO-Link encoders. We said IO-Link about a dozen times. Just to refresh anyone who's listening that doesn't know what IO-Link is, it's basically industrial USB. So we have all these different communication protocols to our PLCs, whether it's Profinet, Ethernet IP, all this. There's usually a control block, usually called the master block, that can talk to then IO-Link sensors, IO-Link devices, and you can get a lot more information than just general sensor data. And that one block can control all these industrial USB devices.
Yep.
So now having an encoder that can talk over that block means, again, no special communication hub or device or anything. Most people already have this because they're using it for whether it's just large density in their IO,
Yep.
or maybe transducers or smart lights, or you name it. There's all kinds of stuff in IO-Link now, but an IO-Link encoder itself is very big to bring to the table.
For sure.
And again, that's the product of the month this month for Barnum. Lots of information out on that. I think it went out in our company newsletter as well to kind of highlight some of the features. But do you know everything in this, do you know, well, not everything, but do you know what type of sensors, encoders, everything that kind of falls under that category for this IO-Link encoder? I mean, does this pair with the drawstring?
For sure. Great question.
Is it kind of, is it more than just, one little object here?
For sure. So that is part of what we are doing. We're continuing to add more and more things. But yes, we have the beauty of the modularity of the draw wire is, yeah, I can pop that out. Let's say it was a Profinet one. Okay, I want IO-Link. Let's use IO-Link now.
Yep.
So the draw wires were good there. The measuring wheels, things like that. Those are really just physical accessories. So we can still use the IO-Link encoder. We just plug it in kind of idea. This is just one size. We have a lot of different sizes as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
Hollow shaft versus a shafted version. So there are a lot of it's not just this physical unit here.
Do you guys have like a good configurator on your website or anything to help like poke through all these different styles? Or is it
Yeah. No. So yeah, we do have a product finder, and honestly, what I did this morning just to self-check myself is I just typed IO-Link in.
Sure.
I got every single product that we sell that has IO-Link. So
That makes it easy.
the masters, all the different encoder types, the slip rings, and then the inclinometers and condition monitoring systems. So, yeah, our website is fairly intuitive, and that's kind of the perk of maybe selling a smaller breadth of product. We do have a lot of different kinds of encoders, but generally, if you are looking for a specific PPR, which is pulses per revolution, you can generally type that in on that product finder, and it'll just give you all your options. And then from there, it's just like any sort of search, on Amazon. I can say, okay, now I want this communication, and I need this shaft size,
Sure.
that kind of idea. So, yeah, very simple that way. Or yeah, please reach out to us, and we're happy to help.
Now, I know you're not the apps guy.
Sure.
I'm an apps guy, so I like to ask a lot of technical questions or learn about this stuff. So if you don't know the answer, you don't have to. But do you know if the IO-Link encoders are they an absolute batteryless style?
Yeah.
We're always going to know that position forever.
Yes.
If it power cycles, we don't lose anything.
Yeah, that is yes. All the encoders that we offer actually with IO-Link at the moment are absolute encoders. So yeah, power them down, power them back up. You know exactly where you're going to be.
Honestly, I don't really see a need if we're going in the realm of IO-Link with that industrial communication, ever really wanting or someone utilizing an incremental style.
Yeah.
I guess unless it's a much cheaper option or something, and
I
someone
mean,
needs a less.
It is a simpler technology, so yeah, generally there's a lower cost attached to it. Cases where like cutting machines, a lot of times, okay, I only care to cut after every 200 pulses or every 20 pulses. So something like that, it's like, okay, we probably don't need an absolute encoder. Just an incremental will be fine, but it's not like an absolute wouldn't work for that either. It just might be overkill. So.
Yeah, when you're already in the realm of using smart devices, smart sensors, I don't think anyone's ever going to complain about having more data and functionality out of something.
Yeah, for sure. And so we do call this a energy harvesting technology. Essentially, it has a onboard magnetic counter.
Okay.
And so it self-powers it. So that's why it doesn't require a battery or anything like that. So it is unique to us.
Okay. That's a good thing to bring up.
I had to learn about that today. I saw it was all over advertisements, and I'm like, energy harvesting. Let's find out about that.
I mean, when new products come out,
yeah, dude.
There's not many people that know them right away except the guy who created it. So
For
we
sure.
all got to learn it right away, and it's also why we have these type of discussions.
Oh yeah.
Bring this stuff out. I know if some salesmen or customers are listening to this, maybe we've already answered a question or two of theirs, which is the goal, and maybe this brings up more questions. Get the conversation started. Now we know there's certain things, that exist.
Yes.
And maybe it's sparking some ideas for we need that on this next application or whatnot. And the resources are here to help work on it and figure it out.
I would also say that kind of goes back to that agility thing I was talking about. There's already been a handful of applications where it's like, oh man, you guys have 9 of the 10 check boxes, but we need our connector to be on this side or something like that. That's where owning our own lines and being able to essentially create, that doesn't mean we make custom parts for every project, something like that.
Sure.
But if there's enough of a need, we are able to make some of those changes, within a couple months versus a couple of years that maybe a larger company would have to get things checked off with. So, that's exciting to me. So
with that on the R&D side or making changes, Is there anything that you know of that's coming up, that's in the pipeline, that's a new technology that's coming, that's worthwhile sharing, that's not some hidden secret yet?
No,
Yeah.
I would say I think we are making some modifications to just how we program our encoders. So I think we used a packware before. I don't get into that world as much as you know, Cody.
Hmm.
But I've been assured by a couple different people that our new software is going to be a lot simpler to use. So I know with our radar sensor, we have a web-based server, and that is a huge leg up compared to a lot of competition. It's got a lot of just simple. It's just I spent 5 minutes with it, and I was able to set up a radar sensor. So
Sure.
I think that is the goal. One of Kuebler's primary messages is make working with Kuebler easy, and so that's what we try to do. If that's easier with easier software, or I would say adding the industrial protocols, or yeah, we still are investing a lot of time and money in just different mounting styles and things like that because like I've mentioned, encoders have been around a long time. There have been changes like optical and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But really the biggest change a lot of times is just being able to physically fit it where
Yeah.
it needs to be or
Maybe
mount it to
maybe
a certain
finding
way.
a way to put it into an application where someone didn't think they could utilize it. They were
For
going to
sure.
have to do a different method.
For sure.
Especially, I mean, like with that drawstring,
Yeah.
that one alone puts an encoder into a system that could never fit an encoder. If there's no open shaft somewhere, there's nothing you could actually mount an encoder on. But now,
Exactly.
I mean, let's throw the string on there and we're going to get high resolution across the whole length of your application. And it is
For sure.
just as high accuracy as mounting it on your shaft if necessary.
And then also having the foresight to make those brackets and stuff to fit on most standard size engines and servos and things like that. So there's not going to be like a limit. It's like, well, if you use a Kuebler encoder, you have to not that most people are choosing their encoder before their engine, but for those that do,
Yeah.
we're going to be good. So we'll be
Retrofit
able to
always
cover.
available.
Yes, sir.
I guess with you mentioned, web server for some sensors. We got IO-Link, obviously industrial protocols. That all ties in with everyone trying to data collect now too, with all the industry
sure.
4.0. I mean, if you want information from your sensors, Kuebler's not hiding that from you. You can
No.
access it
We have
it's
embraced
all over,
it. Yeah.
all over the Ethernet side and all that. So that's big. We're seeing that if there's a lot of big customers or even smaller customers moving that way. But if a sensor or a product can't be monitored in some way without a third party device, they'll go use someone else's. Like,
For
a
sure.
lot of that data needs to be accessed in some way because knowing all that little stuff is saving people a lot of money.
For sure.
They're doing a lot of data collection now.
Yeah.
They're
And
investing
with
a
IO-Link,
lot
I
of
mean,
time
it's
in it.
very simple, just
Which is again like why you even make a sensor like this sensor, your condition monitoring sensor,
Yeah.
for devices that do not have any type of that. Slap this on there, now you can collect data on that device.
for
So
sure.
whether it's the sensor itself reporting data or collecting data off something that can't.
And it's a simple way to kind of get into Ethernet communication without having to maybe jump all the way in with Profinet or all the way in with Ethernet IP, something like that.
Sure.
But you're more the technical man than I, so apologies if that's wrong. But yeah.
So does Kuebler have any I guess side projects or like partnership projects or anything that Kuebler works on either? Like something that maybe is not 100% a Kuebler encoder device, but maybe you guys include an encoder in someone else's device or anything like that that's worthwhile talking about?
I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about that, to be honest.
That's perfectly fine. I mean, there's always, because you guys are the true manufacturer of these devices.
Yes.
A lot of times it's, hey, our device is what you get the speed from a Tesla motor, stuff like that. People like to, things like that. You never know what these things could be utilized in or something unique that someone has heard before.
Okay. Never mind. I thought you were talking about something different. Like, are you asking like for examples of like where these things are actually being used, or are you asking?
Yeah, if Kuebler is like, you guys actually, let's say every single, I don't know, actuator on the market has this built into it, or somebody's servo is always going to use a Kuebler encoder. Big like, I guess I want to say a full partnership, but like it's
Sure.
just well known that our encoders are the gold standard because they're used in all this always,
For sure.
type of thing. So
That's a great
anything like
question.
that that's like kind of a nice flaunt piece, flex piece that's worthwhile.
Oh, I am sure there are. I feel bad since I'm just new to the company. I haven't been involved in the larger projects, but yes, I mean, there's some logistics applications, UPS facilities and Amazon and stuff like that
Mm-hmm.
they're using all Kuebler. Trying to think of a good example. Oh, I mean, our slip rings, we do have a huge leg up on there. So the majority of merry-go-rounds and stuff you see are going to have a Kuebler encoder inside
That's kind
of
of
it.
cool. That's
Yeah.
cool to think about.
Yeah, it's unique. A lot of flow pack machines.
Mm-hmm.
So the people making your candy bars, Snickers, stuff like that. It's got
Sure.
a slip ring on the inside of it. That's what's heating those knives up essentially to slice it, so you get your individual little Snicker bar, things
Mm-hmm.
like that. Um,
I know on the slight segue, on your website, on Kuebler's website, also is advertising potentially a like joint effort on integrated servos.
oh yeah,
Like like that's not 100% a Kuebler product. That's with someone else that you guys are kind of partnering on and creating as well, right?
correct. That's correct. Um, yeah, and I apologize. I just don't know a ton about that world, but yeah, that is a very exciting thing. Just based on the ears that perk up when I'm on meetings and stuff,
Mhm.
when that slide shows up, and then I tell everyone to chill out real quick because it is a pretty brand new thing. But yeah, we've paired up with Synopticon and putting on our encoders on their servos. So yeah, we're working actually hand in hand with you guys to test that out and kind of feel it out for us in the U.S. market. So
It's a cool addition for sure.
for sure. And I apologize. I'm not trying to hide any information
No,
on that.
no, absolutely.
I don't
mean,
know a ton
I'm just
about it yet, but yeah, we're all thrilled about it. But yeah, that's why I said I'm like, I don't know how much I
see
could
if
tell
there's
you.
any little sneak peeks or anything kind of neat that these are used on that.
Yeah.
Might kind of wow someone.
A really cool application that I didn't know we were involved with a lot of times, like it's like Broadway plays and things like that. They use a lot
like
of
under
our
the stages.
yeah, dude,
and
100%.
rigging and all that.
Yeah, I can't name any company names, but we did a huge project, in 2024 for a company that does a lot of, big concerts, that kind of thing. And so, in order to get rid of a lot of the cables and all that stuff, they used IO-Link encoders. And so now it only has to go back to that master, and that master, we're freeing up space
Sure.
as well. Yeah, so we're simplifying it, less wires, and then you can have more art
I
or whatever you
can't
want to call it.
imagine how much a stage performance when someone says less wires,
Yeah.
how excited they would get.
100%,
Because I
man.
mean, everyone has seen those pictures of
For sure.
setups and takedowns, and just the miles and miles of wires and cables that get used on everything. So
Yeah.
when someone comes to the table with less wires,
Yeah.
someone's gonna get their checkbook out.
For sure. Yep. And that's what happened. I mean, I think it was a 2024 project, so it predates my time, but it's
It's very
something that
recent.
we're very proud of. So it's an industry not a lot of people think to pursue. So that's awesome.
Yeah, especially a lot of our customers in our industries that we deal with is so much automotive, material handling. There is so much more automation and other aspects that we don't either deal with or know about until that application comes up. And that's like,
Sure.
okay, this is cool. This is another realm that we really should be involved in,
Yeah.
But
No, that's like when I found out, it's like, oh, we get invited to Universal Studios and Disney, for like trade shows and stuff because, like you, I've worked out of Michigan my whole career. So it's like, yeah, automotive's kind of king and I don't think about anything else. So yeah, that's unique and pretty cool.
It's kind of eye-opening of having like our Barnum sales force expanding so far too. Some of the new stuff that we didn't really ever recognize as things that would use our product and use your product. I mean, it's definitely a cool market.
Yeah, and that's what's exciting too about being a smaller company. We have a gal named Maya Hall who is our marketing person, and literally within 2 days I can get a fresh document for a different industry because walking into this job I knew I've only covered this part of the country. It's like it turns out in the West Coast they do different things than us. So
absolutely,
I've been able just through conversations learning about different industries and utilizing that so that we can jump on those markets. So
good deal. Was there anything, I guess, people listening, if they want to know more about Kuebler right off the bat? Obviously, we covered a lot here in this podcast, so just listen to this 3 times over and you might get a good gist of what Kuebler's about. But if they want to learn more, obviously, we got our Barnum sales reps, we got you, Kuebler Direct.
Yep.
You guys have obviously a good website. You're talking about Product Finder.
Yes.
you mentioned your YouTube page.
Yes, we have a nice YouTube page. Our LinkedIn, I don't know how often people use that still for, but yeah, those product videos are pop up on there and nice little refreshers for myself even. So you can either go to YouTube for those or that. Or yeah, our website's very easy. A lot of times I would just type in Kuebler because you'll see, and I can't remember the exact word, but Kuebler's spelled a little bit different in Germany.
Yeah, the,
So
the German Kuebler, just K with the U with the dots over.
Yeah,
I don't know what it's
Umlave.
called.
I can't remember if it was Umlave or whatever. I
Yeah,
apologize. to the world,
BLER.
but-
I mean, that's what's on the shirt. We
Yeah.
got Kuebler KU, and then there's KUE.
Yeah.
Here in the States. So if you're in North America, you probably want to use the KUE
Correct.
BLER website,
Yes,
and that'll just make sure you get the America's version of it.
100%. I just like to say that because sometimes people, we like to say this is our logo, with the Umlave on it versus the other one is that
There's no like big separation from.
And honestly, if you
European and the
Google
US,
it, it'll
right?
probably take you to both of them.
Yeah.
It's fine. No, there's no difference.
Like there isn't specialty products, one way
No.
or another, really, that you can't get it because it's only a European thing.
That's a great question because other companies I work for were like that. No, everything that's released in Germany comes here. Now the double-edged sword of that is sometimes Europe has a different market than us, so
Yep.
sometimes
There's
they
different priority on build of certain things. Yeah.
100%. Now I will say, and I can't believe it took me this long to get to it, something that really does make us unique. We manufacture or we assemble a lot of our high running incremental coders in house in Charlotte, North Carolina. So that gives
Okay.
us a huge even though we are a German company,
Yep.
we get 2 shipments a week from Germany, and we have a lovely lady named Inez, and she hand assembles them. We're able to get things out a lot quicker than our competition a lot of times, even the ones that say they're American made, and that's
Yep.
not an argument or anything like that, but they're waiting for theirs to come from China, and we're assembling ours ourselves. So
Yeah, that's really good to know that the support, the lead times are there. That's something a lot of people do pick on when they're like, oh, it's a German company, it's a
Yes.
Taiwanese company, whatever. It's going to take how long to get my product, as long as there is some effort put forth to stock in the U.S., assemble in the U.S., things like that. It makes people feel a lot better about utilizing a product that's not going to take them 6 months to get.
And we're looking to break ground actually next year, or buy a facility, and we're going to actually start manufacturing some of the slip rings and then some of the Sendix Encoders as well, in Charlotte, North Carolina as well. So
Very cool.
we're going to improve on those lead times because my 5 months of being in the encoder world, before I sold cameras, so like the issues were completely different. A lot of times it is just like lead time is a lot of the times the driving factor. It's great that we have all the gadgets and whatnot.
But if you can't get it,
It doesn't matter. But
mean,
it's like,
no.
we have all the gadgets and I can get it to you. So that's what's
Sure.
cool too about having such a wide product breadth, man, and having an expert like Kevin, is, oh shoot, man, we can't get that one for 8 weeks, but hey, could you take a connector on the left-hand side of it instead of the right-hand side? Would that work, kind of thing?
Yep.
So we have a million different options, which is overwhelming, but also means we always
the
have
solution
a fix.
can be
We
solved.
always have a solution for them. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, I think we probably talked the listeners' ears off a little
Yeah.
bit here. We have a lot of information, and again, if people need to reach out and get some more information on this stuff, Barnum Salesman, Barnum Tech Support, and Barnum Applications is well versed. We have a dedicated product manager here at Barnum as well that makes sure everything goes smoothly, and then obviously local Kuebler representative or
For sure.
right on Kuebler's website, reach out. Make sure you get in good hands and get the information you need, get a quote, maybe a demo in
Yes.
hands. But Ryan, thanks for coming over and having this discussion with me.
My pleasure, Cody. Thanks for having me.
It's nice, we jumped right in this brand new product line again for Barnum. We've only been partnered up for like
2 months.
2 months or so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like
So
that.
so
Yeah.
being able to have a discussion right off the bat, get everyone familiar with it,
For sure.
is awesome. Very useful.
Yes, sir.
But we'll wrap it up there. Thanks again. And that's another episode of Automation Nation inside Barnum. We'll catch you guys next time.
Sounds good.
Thank
Have
you.
a great day.